Alright, YouTube, here's another look at the Brandywine update. 100% organic. Heirloom Amish Brandywine. This is supposedly like that Amish strain. I don't know what the real story is on that. I guess the Sudeth Brandywine is the one to have. It's supposed to be the 90-day one. It's supposed to be the better. Let's see here. What does this one say here? 1885 Heirloom Amish variety, large rose pink. Maturity 90 to 100 days. I know that Sudeth is supposed to be 90 days, and the other Brandywine I know of that I read about is supposed to be 80 plus days. I don't know. This one takes a long time. Got a couple ripe ones though. Let's see what we're doing here. Now this thing, in case you notice, it hasn't really gotten much taller because this plant has been beat to hell, and I don't even know how well my mic is going to pick this up today because it's very windy. There's, as you can see, I mean, I've got some big ones. They all got like little buttholes on them, but no blossom and rot at all. This one's probably there's probably like a little bit of rot in there, but it's none of that soft, mushy stuff I've had in the past. When growing in plastic containers, they get a lot of blossom end rot. Now I've had some of these that have split near the top, rotted a little bit, but I think that was from inconsistent watering. This bad boy is going to be about 20 ounces right there or more. That's way over a pound. And really, guys, you watching this video, look at my soil list again. I put all my soil ingredients in the list, and this is all recycled soil from last year, by the way. 100% organic, a lot of glacial rock dust, AZOMITE. It's all about the minerals. Compost, Sul-Po-Mag. Now I haven't been doing compost tea as often. Last year I brewed compost tea 2 to 3 times a week. I bet there were some weeks last year I brewed it 4 times in a week. This year I've only brewed compost tea I think 1 time since my cat died at the beginning of June. Now look at this. I'm broke, out of honey. In the past, when I get branches that break like this, I dab a little bit of honey. Honey isn't from bees. Honey on there helps seal them up. It's like an antifungal. It's got a sugar source. Helps seal it up a little bit, keeps it going. Well, look at this. This thing hasn't died, and these tomatoes are still growing. This is from a storm, bad storm. I don't know, 7-10 days ago. But as you notice, the plant freaks out and it knows what it's struggling, so all these flowers died. There's a bunch of other flowers on here it was going to make. The plant knows better than to even try to grow those. It's going to just drop all those, put all its effort into these. I'm sure these ones will be all stunted because this branch is more than 2/3 of the way broken through. Say almost 75% broken. But I mean, yeah, we're still we got Brandywines all over this thing. Honestly, this is looking like it's going to barely be a success as far as I was concerned, but, you know, I could have planted it a little earlier. Could have mulched it a little earlier. Oh yeah, by the way, since my last video, I finally did put some quick straw down. This is what you should do on all your... You should never see soil. All soil, any organic garden, you should never see the soil. It should always be covered. The stuff growing here is either going to be like alfalfa. Before I put this straw down, I put down a cup of alfalfa pellets I ground up in an old coffee grinder. So I don't know if this is either flax, alfalfa, because I put some flax seed down too, or maybe it was just seed that was in with the straw. That happens. I always let it go. Look at the peppers here. They've started to do a little bit better. I'm going to give you guys a little tip too about what my problem is. These peppers are still pathetic. They're nowhere near as good as last year. My video from last year is still up, so you guys can check that out. Those were 5-gallon containers. These are 10-gallon containers, and they yielded better. I'll explain that in a second. Basically, that was just all my fault. But here we go. I made a really badass organic pasta sauce last night from one of these Brandywines, the one that was split a little bit last night. The top slice on it was kind of moldy. The rest of it was great. A little bit of a butthole on the bottom, but no blossom end rot. I just weighed this. This one is a pound now. Or I mean 17 ounces. It lost an 1/8 ounce since yesterday, but I assume that's just from evaporation or whatever. Oh, well, it lost, oh okay, yeah, lost just an 1/8 ounce. It was 17 1/8 when I cut it yesterday. I don't know if we can see that. 1 pound 1 ounce. Which is not really all that big for these. These are supposed to be in the 1 to 2 pound range, so this is right on par. But to those people, like a farmer at one of the markets that was telling me, good luck with trying to grow Brandywine organic, good luck with that. Brandywines are supposed to be about the most difficult tomato there is. It was my first try at it, guys. And doing a little research last night, I found out that the tomato that used to be my favorite back in the day, called Alpaca, I grew that 2 years in a row, 4 and 5 years ago. I didn't realize that that was an heirloom tomato also. I kind of thought that this is my first year with heirlooms, but it turns out that the last time I grew tomatoes that I actually liked, they were heirlooms also, but that's more of a sauce tomato, Alpaca. And that thing was even, probably it was a stronger smelling plant than than this Brandywine even. Now about these Cayennes, I actually cut most of them yesterday and I forgot to bring my tape measure out. These things are right in the 8.5 to 9 inch range, and this is just regular old Super Cayenne, nothing special. I've grown Super Cayennes for probably 6 years or more, and I've never had them this big. But I don't know, I think I probably had more rock dust. Oh yeah, besides that, let me just show you guys what I'm working with here. These are the fish fertilizers that I've used. Now, I think I had given the tomato 2 doses of this. I've been using this for the last few years. This is the K is for kelp, by the way. This is a fish hydrolyslate. This is not an emulsion. This is far better. I could get into the emulsion stuff for you. Emulsion is processed by heat after they removed all the fish oils, and for you know, fish oil for human consumption, and also they remove a lot of the oils for pet food, cat dog food flavorings. Like George Bush Sr. actually owns one of the largest fisheries off of South America, where he a lot of the fish oils and fish emulsions and stuff come from that. So I'd rather use something that's not. This is a Wisconsin company, based in Wisconsin, been doing it for a long time. This is the original one. I first used this stuff I think in 1999, so old school. Hadn't used this stuff since like 2000 or 2001. Picked up a bottle this year and I've given my Brandywine a couple doses of this. This is really good stuff. You look at the numbers right there, 251. If you guys go look at your fancy, super expensive Bloom fertilizers, what is it? Basically you're looking for about a 251. Now you do want a lot higher potash in that, or potassium, but my Sul-Po-Mag and actually these rock dusts deliver a lot of potassium too. The Sul-Po-Mag, I guess I didn't bring my bag of that out here. Sul-Po-Mag, its numbers are 0,022, and it's organic with a bunch of magnesium and sulfur. Sulfur in a buffered form, it does not drop your pH. You want Sul-Po-Mag. Organic molasses, I do not believe in feeding molasses or sugars to your plants directly. It works, but I think the sugar isn't really all that good for it. But I use this in my compost tea when I am brewing it. But as I said, I haven't been brewing compost tea much lately. I need to, it's still warm enough, I could probably, you know, do it a couple more times this year. And the compost tea is really what functions, the bacteria in the soil function as your plants, both the digestive system and your immune system, just as the bacteria in your gut do. That's where compost tea comes in. This molasses is a food for the compost tea. You're increasing with oxygen and food and everything, you're increasing the amount of bacteria in your, when you brew a tea and whatever. Okay, AZOMITE, this is a natural rock mineral. It's got like 70 minerals in it. And it's OMRI listed, but OMRI's kind of a joke anyways, if you don't know about OMRI. This is where it's at too. Glacial rock dust. I can't find this anywhere in town. And it's kind of funny because the glacier stopped right here in Madison. I used to even live on Moraine View Drive. Moraine is where a glacier, it's a geological formation where a glacier stops. So right here in Madison, but I can't find glacial rock dust anywhere. And the guys at the garden centers, Look at me like I smoke crack rocks when I ask for glacial rock dust. If you guys don't know, you need to know. Rock dust is where it's at. Compost and rock dust are what you need. AZOMITE, glacial rock dust. Watering can, I wanted to show you this too. This is a real Dram can. And most plastic stuff like this, of course, it's all imported these days. But if you look at this, what does that say? Manitowoc, Wisconsin. Yeah, so this thing's actually made in Wisconsin. So don't use some Chinese stuff. Buy one made for a good company, made in Wisconsin. And or anything you can find made in America, but I strongly recommend buying this one made in Wisconsin. It's got a lot of holes in the end here, and diffuses the water real well. One last thing I wanted to talk about here too, about the air pruning of the smart pots. This aloe plant is an aloe plant. I put this in this terracotta. I used to always use terracotta, and I still am a huge fan of it, but it's expensive. For the large containers are really expensive. But anyways, about air pruning, I've been in air pruning long before I knew anything about these smart pots. Terracotta, it's unglazed clay, breeze. This was planted in here 8, 9, possibly up to 10 years ago. And I have a 1-inch layer of hydrogen at the bottom. Hydrogen, the clay pellets. And well, as you can see, I mean, look, this thing doesn't normally sit outside. I just brought it out here to film this video. It's doing pretty well, and that has been in that soil for, yeah, 8, possibly up to 10 years. So that just goes to show that and this thing's severely neglected too. I mean, I just added some compost to it a month ago, but I've probably, over the last 8 years, I've probably only added compost to it 2 or 3 times. That's it. Severely neglected, and it's looking like that after that long without ever being taken out of that container. No work has ever been done on this. It's all good. Let's go look at those potatoes real quick. They're almost dead. These potatoes will be harvested in about 2 weeks. Kennebec variety, still flowering. This is I think this is the gold rush, is kind of dying out a little bit more here. So, I don't know, somewhere in about 2 weeks or something like that, I take that down. That is a 55-gallon rain barrel for comparison there. But, I'm gonna look at that Brandywine, and thanks for checking in.